Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome back to another week of the Whole Soul Podcast. If you're new here, my name is Claudia Isabella, and I'm a holistic health and embodiment guide for women who are overcoming low self-worth and really stepping into seeing their sensitivity as their gift, and overall just stepping into a more confident, alive, vital, embodied, and radiant way of living and being. So if this is you, then welcome. You're exactly in the right place. And today's episode is about knowing when it's time for you to make a shift and really recognizing the subtle signs all around you and within you that are calling you to make this shift. So I want to share a little bit of a story first about how this is coming up in my life and what I've been moving through and really processing and integrating, because this topic alone has been so alive and present in a way that it hasn't been probably in the last half a decade, so 5 years. And that's kind of the reason why I feel inspired to talk about this today. So for a little bit of context, I have been pretty much based here in Panama for the last 4 years. And I never expected to be here for this long. Long story short, I came here to visit my brother for 2 weeks, and I was here for a journey of self-discovery. It was my first time traveling outside of the country by myself, and I had just exited my first online business, so I had this sense of freedom that I could just do whatever I want and really step into my next chapter of more alignment and deeper purpose. And so within the first 2 weeks of being here, I met my partner, Taylor, and he had a house here. So eventually we fell so deeply in love, we moved in together, and I've pretty much been here ever since, rooted here. And this journey has been literally the most transformative, life-changing, growth-filled journeys of my life, being with this man, and we are continuously growing and evolving and inspiring each other to grow every single day. So being here has been a blessing in ways that I could have never seen my life unfolding in this way, but truly it's been so amazing. Why I'm sharing this is because it's been 4 years now, and the first year and a half, even 2 years, were really expansive, were really beautiful. But then I started hitting all of these walls. I started getting digestive issues, brain fog, not feeling like the vital self that I was when I was really tending to my health, when I was cooking food of high quality. And something I've always known about this place is that the quality of food is not to my standard, not to my degree of care. There's not really access to organic fruits and vegetables. There's good meat, sure, but I felt that my microbiome wasn't receiving the vitality that I needed to really thrive. So that was my first red flag, and I knew that I couldn't be here for a long time, nor did I want to be, because also where we live is a really small beach town, and it's kind of in the middle of nowhere. It's very far removed, and as a 22-year-old at the time, I knew that I wanted to expand in an environment where I had access to more connection, more networking, more opportunity to expand. So I always felt this. And the last 2 years, I'm really blessed and grateful that I've had the opportunity and the privilege and the blessing to have been able to leave and travel and even go home to visit my parents and live with them for a little bit, and travel to Portugal, to Brazil, to Costa Rica, and really get this itch of traveling and exploring and experiencing new places and opportunities to really take place and satisfy that itch. But every single time coming back to this place, I would just feel so trapped after like 1 to 2 weeks being here because of the food, because I just felt like all the subtleties within my body were telling me that it's time to go. Through my digestive issues, through my brain fog, through just feeling a lack of inspiration and stuckness and stagnancy and just Like there's not room or opportunity for me to grow in the ways that I need anymore. And this place served its purpose. It did, until it didn't anymore. And the universe has been cueing me to make a shift and move and get out of my comfort zone to find a new place of stability. But here's where the tricky part is. So Taylor owns this house, right? And we're pretty much based here. And for the last year, we've been trying to sell this house. It's been on the market. So we've kind of been rooted here until then. But even with that, being here for the last 2 weeks, after being on this beautiful, expansive journey of being in Costa Rica, of going to yoga teacher training, of going to Envision, of living in a beautiful space filled with so much nature, that re-inspired my soul in a way that I haven't felt in a really long time. And for context also, the last 2 years have been so challenging on my heart and my soul of knowing that I'm not meant to be here anymore, but still coming back, and every single time just feeling like I was in this cycle of repeating over and over and over again. And this kind of goes to say that the same patterns and cycles will keep repeating over and over and over again until you recognize it, you have the awareness that it's happening, and you take the actions necessary to break the cycle. However long it takes you, you're just committed to breaking that cycle, making a shift within yourself, shifting your mindset, shifting your beliefs, shifting your subconscious so that you don't repeat the same pattern over and over and over again. And this can only come through doing the inner work, right? Because if you have a baseline of belief systems that keep you believing that you're only worthy of this baseline, how do you ever expect to get to this baseline of what you know you actually need? So this is where the inner work comes in. And this is the beautiful journey and mirror of life that it shows you, right? Because you're being shown this same thing over and over again because there's something for you to learn there. There's something for you to overcome that you maybe haven't been allowing yourself to explore or experience within yourself. And this challenge is literally forcing you, because until you deal with it, until you face it, until you sit with it to recognize what's there, you're not going to be able to break through. You're just going to keep looping and looping and looping. So what a gift it is that life gets to show you these experiences where you are not feeling in alignment, but you keep recognizing that you might still be going back to those same situations, same scenarios, same patterns. And in my context, it was showing me that it was about a place. But it's not only about a place. This could happen within relationships, within a career where you know you just are meant to shift. You literally can't stand it anymore. Your soul feels like it's shriveling and dying, and you know you need to make a shift. But in every single challenge that comes up, there is something there for you to break through and learn and grow through. The point that I'm bringing up in this is that when it's time to make a shift, everything in your body, everything in your environment will let you know. And if you ignore it, you will experience a pain and a suffering that is not fun, to a point where sometimes you will hit rock bottom, to a point where sometimes you need to hit rock bottom to make the shift. Because if the pain is tolerable that you're experiencing in whatever cycle or pattern that you're in, you might be able to numb it. You might be able to tolerate it and just push it aside and kind of like consolidate it so you don't have to face it or look at it. But if you get to a point of rock bottom and breakdown, in whatever way that looks like, it can come up in so many different ways. You literally, there's no turning back. There's nowhere to go except up. And that's a beautiful thing, right? It sucks in the moment. It's painful. You feel like you're dying because you literally are. Your ego is completely shattering and coming back to a baseline where you have to rebuild yourself from alignment, from doing what is actually good for you, for your growth, for your development, for your health, because you physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually cannot tolerate living a life that is out of alignment, because it creates dis-ease within your body, within your heart, within your soul. Dis-ease is disease. And the more you tolerate lack of alignment or doing something that is so bad for you, but you're tolerating it, it will compound into disease, dis-ease over time. And that is the worst thing. I mean, there's so many chronic illnesses, diseases, and conditions right now, and people wonder where it comes from. And a lot of times, yes, there's things that you can do to shift nutritionally and within your environment, but a lot of it, most of it, comes from stress. The stress of living a life that is not good for you, that is not healthy for you. So the universe will show you everything you need to know to make the right decisions for yourself. And it will show up through your body, through your environment, through the people in your life, through your career, through your levels of happiness, fulfillment, or the depression or sadness that you're experiencing in your life. But know that sometimes it's so important to get to this place of rock bottom, because it allows you to realize that you can no longer tolerate this life that you have been tolerating or numbing or compartmentalizing or putting aside because you didn't want to feel it. There's this book, you may or may not have read it. It's called The Body Keeps the Score. And it's basically this concept that whatever trauma or feelings or emotions that you don't allow yourself to process and feel and alchemize just become stored and logged in your body. And this can show up as physical weight gain, as just this heaviness or depression or anxiety or sadness, because you're not giving yourself the space to process and let go. Let that emotion or somatic weight that you're holding to be let go and released, because that is where stagnancy in your body creates dis-ease. If you think of a river flowing down a river, that's healthy, right? Like the river is flowing. But as soon as the water becomes stale and stuck somewhere, there's all this bacteria, there's all of this disease that starts forming because it's stagnant. So you can think of your emotions and the things coming up in your body or your trauma in the same way. If it is stuck in your body, if it is stagnant, that is where the disease forms. And it compounds over time. But if you process it, allow yourself to feel the emotions of what you're going through, oop, that's an ant, then you allow yourself to create the space in your body to receive more light from the Creator, and to also just become physically, emotionally, spiritually, and mentally lighter. This also allows you to unblock yourself towards the things that you've always wanted to pursue or do, or just have a stronger belief and self-concept in yourself that you are capable and that you are worthy to fully pursue anything and everything that you've ever wanted to be in this life. Something really important to note here too is that this journey of understanding that a person, place, or thing is out of alignment, it is time for you to move on from that thing. Awareness is the first step. And this can feel like a whole entire awakening, because you understand that in your body and in your environment, there is just this knowing that you are meant to move on, that you are not meant to be there anymore. But it's in the process of making the shifts within yourself, also understanding that it takes time for those shifts to take place, where you can actually make the move physically, have a hard conversation with the person you need to have the conversation with, or make the change in your life that will allow you the space to make a better decision, a more aligned decision for what will make you feel happier and healthier and more fulfilled and more joyful in your life. I think in our society today, we have this belief that things can just come to us right away. Or we have this expectation that things just come right to us. And I think that comes with our TikTok brain rot brain that just scrolls instant gratification, instant gratification. But no, it takes time for things to happen in our life. So if you know that a place is out of alignment for you, for example, or a career that you're in is out of alignment, or something that you're doing is just not aligned with who you are, it's a process. And you learn through this process of building yourself from within and building the tools and the skills and the mindset within yourself to make that shift where you grow. And that takes time, and I want to emphasize on the time. Because right now I've had the awareness that this place is not where I want it to be, not where I want to be, for the last 2.5 years now. And I've been in this place of feeling so frustrated with myself for coming back. But in reality, there's still so many loose ends that I had to tie the last 2 years. Places of peace that I had to make within myself. Acceptance that I had to cultivate, and self-love that I've had to cultivate, although I'm not exactly in the place that I want to be. And I think acceptance is a huge part of this too that you need to understand. Because if you cannot accept where you are, even if you know it's out of alignment, you are going to fight yourself and make a war within yourself. And that is more destructive and more harmful to yourself and more stressful than I think anything. So if you have the awareness that something is not right for you anymore, have the patience and the faith, knowing that because you have the awareness and you are making the shifts every day, that the shift is going to happen. It will. It is happening. And the most important part is to neutralize yourself. For example, if you're in a place, to neutralize yourself to it, not allowing yourself to only be in the state of rage and anger that you know it's not where you're supposed to be, that you want to get out. Because all we have is now, right? This present moment. And if you are constantly living the future of I don't want to be here, or living in the past, feeling this regret for making decisions, you are not living in the now, and you're hurting yourself, you're harming yourself by constantly looping in these stories that aren't allowing you to be here and to operate from the version of self that is at this new baseline that you're creating for yourself. The biggest part in this whole process of knowing that something is out of alignment for you and knowing that you need to make the shift is patience and grace with yourself, most importantly. Because like I said, otherwise you will be creating a war within yourself of guilt, of shame, of comparison, of feeling like you need to be further ahead, of feeling like you're not doing enough. And that's just not fair to yourself. You literally don't deserve that. You don't deserve to hurt yourself like that. You have to trust in life. You have to trust in the process of where you are, also knowing that you can only bloom where you're planted right now. And if you feel like you absolutely cannot, then you have to look within yourself and check the stories that you're replaying in your mind that aren't allowing you to be present or actually take the action that you know you need to take because you feel like you're not in the ideal place or the right environment, and you're not surrounded by whatever you feel like it is you need to move forward. You can. You just need to check out those stories and see where those limiting beliefs are plaguing you as you're making the moves every single day to make the shift in your life towards greater and deeper alignment. This isn't a process of instant gratification. It's the process of life. And baby girl, life goes through seasons. And not in every season you will be thriving, and that's okay. Just like our cyclical nature as women, we're not always going to be ovulating. Ovulation is a short season. And then we're in luteal phase. Then we're in our menstrual bleeding time. Then we're in springtime again. It's kind of like that with the journey of growth and evolution as well. You have to honor yourself where you are, knowing that you are exactly where you need to be right now, even though it might be challenging, even though you might know it's not aligned. But there is something there for you to learn, to harness, to take into your next step. So I know I'm saying this to myself as I'm saying this to you, because this is such powerful medicine for life to really soak that in. So last but not least, when it's time for you to make a move, the universe will let you know. Your body will give you the signs and the signals to move. And this doesn't mean to make a abrasive, radical shift right away, because that's kind of intense for your nervous system, and it's something your nervous system probably cannot handle all at once. Knowing to make the move is having the awareness and taking the subtle shifts and steps that you can, that are attainable every single day, to move towards making that bigger shift. We have to build ourselves up and prepare our vessel to make this shift, to hold greater capacity, to be able to receive more abundance and more light from the Creator. So you are being prepared. Your vessel is being prepared for this bigger shift that you know you are meant to make. So trust the process. You're exactly where you need to be. Remember that you are a cyclical being that is connected to nature. You are not separate from nature. You are a part of it. And please give yourself the grace and the credit for all of the things that you're doing and holding along the way. I love you so much. Thank you for being here with me today. I hope this episode landed in the ways that it feels inspiring and empowering for you. Maybe it even felt validating. So if any of this landed, please rate this podcast on Spotify. Follow to stay tuned for weekly episodes, and I will see you next week.